Hello, my name is Sebastián Jimenez, and then I am going to do a small interview with the characters of the famous Netflix series La Casa del Papel. Agatha Jimenez, alias Nairobi, Silene Oliveira, alias Tokio, Sergio Maquina, alias El Profesor, and Raquel Murillo, alias Lisboa. First of all, I am going to interview the professor. Well, Professor, what was the most difficult moment you had to pass with your brother during the heist?
Well, the most complicated moment that happened with my brother was when he decided to stay until the last of the team by the time for the others to get out. And the worst thing is that I could not save him. And also see how they seal the exit on the escape. So, yes, at that moment, something inside me was broken. And now my brother now is dead.
Wow. And now the second question. If you could change anything about the plan of the heist in the final, what would it be?
The problem that was in the plan from the beginning was that the band began to have more united and sentimental relationships between them. When situations occur that need concentration and responsibility, everything got out of control. So that could be something that I would change.
Okay, Professor. And now the final question. What did you feel when you met again with the whole gang?
Well, it was a feeling between happiness, nerves, and a little of fear because after the robbery, we became a family despite being all sheltered. But the risk of putting our life at risk again to save Rio was what worried me the most.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Now I am going to interview Nairobi. Well, Nairobi, first of all, I have to do a question. What do you feel about being re- responsible for the converting of the robbery money? And how did you get so much money uh, falsified in short time?
Well, the truth is that ever since I knew that I would be an elementary part of the robbery, I was fascinated since border fighting is something that I'm very good at, and doing it within the National College and Stamp Factory was a challenge for me. But all this was also achieved thanks to the people who were helping me during all the days we were inside, and is that of thought they did it obligatory, excellent results were obtained.
Oh, well. And now, why did you always have conflict with Berlin? And what did you feel about you knew about her death?
I think that the fact of having heard on TV that he was a bad person and that he had also committed criminal acts in the past made me have a bad impression about him. Besides, I never liked that he always believed himself superior to the rest of the gang, and also that he was so impulsive and not very empathic with others. But despite all this, it hurt me to leave him alone inside the Royal Mint of Spain, surrounded by all those policemen, since I knew that this would definitely mean he's dead. And even though he was not the best person, he was part of the gang and he also helped make the robbery possible.
Wow, a great answer, Nairobi. And now the final question. What plans did you have with the money from the robbery?
Believe me, I really had a very hard childhood and I would have preferred not to dedicate myself to this. But when my boyfriend abandoned me after I got pregnant, I had other option to raise my baby than to dedicate myself to counterfeiting. And because of this, I ended up locked in jail and I lost custody of my son Axel. And that's why I wanted the money from the robbery to regain custody of my son and go living in a quiet place with him.
Wow, a great interview, Nairobi. See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
And now it's time to interview Raquel Murillo. Well, Raquel, why were you removed from the case and what happened next?
Well, after I found out that Sergio was the professor, I felt really like really disappointed because I hadn't just found that he was the professor. Like I felt he had used me for being like um, near the police. So I was really like frustrated about it, and I didn't tell police I knew he was the professor. I wanted to like know what happened by myself. So I interviewed him. I wanted to know what happened and if he actually loved me. And after when I went back to the police office, they already knew Sergio was the professor. So they thought I was helping him or I was covering him. So they thought um, I was suspected, like being from the band, but they didn't have evidence of it. So they couldn't do me anything. So in that time, I wanted to know by myself what had happened and I wanted to see where he was. So I started to watch some cameras. I started uh, like watching different cameras and seeing the points, and I found where he was hidden. When I found him, he kidnapped me. But
Okay.
at the end, I was in love with him, and I wanted to be with him. So I like accepted to be in his side.
Okay, great answer, Raquel. And now the second question. What made you change your mind about helping the police?
Yes, I wasn't going to help them because at the end I didn't know which who was the good ones and who were the bad ones in the in the situation. So I was like I wanted to help Sergio and all the band, but they like the police. The person who discovered the professor was Sergio, was my ex-husband. So if he had helped them a lot, and they were like, they offered me to have all the to be able to stay with my daughter, or he would take her. So it was being with Sergio or being with my daughter. And in that, I mean, I loved Sergio, but I loved more my daughter. So I chose to give some information and stay with my daughter.
Okay. And now the final question. What happened a year after the haste?
Well, after everything everything finished, I didn't see Sergio again. He like escaped. And I was like, I missed him, but I didn't have any contact with him. So I was watching some news. I was watching the news and I remembered him. So I went for some postcards he gave me before, like we were planning to go to some island and to live there. But at the end, we didn't do it. And I started to see the postcards, and I saw that the one postcard had like some location, like a part of an island. So I put all the postcards together and I saw the location where he was. So I decided to go. Like I didn't know if I was going to see him, but I wanted to know what could happen. So I went and I was like looking for him, and my phone battery died, and I went to like a Mm, it was like there was a man there, and I asked him if he had a charger, and he told me he didn't, but there was Sergio, and like I mean, I saw him again.
Okay, a great interview, Raquel. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
And finally, I am going to interview Tokyo.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, Tokyo. And now the first question. What did you think when Interpol called Rio?
The first thing I felt when I discovered that Rio was in trouble was a lot of anger and sadness, and that is why I decided to go to the professor to ask him for help. What I never imagined was all the chaos that it's going to generate.
Oh, well, and the second question. What did you feel when you stepped outside the cellar where the end and the tunnel was located, where the professor was hiding?
The first thing I felt was a lot of happiness because not only did I escape from the biggest robber in Spain, but now I was a millionaire and that I could go wherever I wanted with Rio, my love.
Aye. And now the final question. Why did you take the decision to leave the island when you were happy there?
I left the island because I always be a very party person and I really like the crazy life. Even though I was with the love of my life, I did not feel complete. I need the city and the Paris.
Well, thank you, Tokyo, for this moment. See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Without a doubt, it was a very interesting interview with the professor, Lisboa, Nairobi, and Tokyo, especially because of the incredible data and response give by them. Thanks for everything. See you later.